Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the stream. My name's Saminami, and we are here for some Overwatch. Tonight on the NECC, it's going to be Stevenson University versus the Hagerstown Community College. You will find Stevenson on red team with the Hawks, HCC, on blue. We're going to be starting out here on the Night Garden, but not quite night as we can see here during the middle of the day. Without further ado, let's get right on into it. We're going to be seeing as both sides make their way over to start. Probably have to keep an eye on Stevenson rotating back while the soldier's going to be up front here. Let's take a look at Chrome to see how he reacts to this push from the Mustangs here to start. Looking over on the side of Stevenson here, we're going to be keeping an eye on Rinzer, also DPS, projectile starts for the Mustangs, and we're going to be looking for a starting push from the Mustangs here. Connor trying to make this way in, but a very risky play, mind you, playing so close as they are. May serving as a personal wall to block any damage and try to keep this tank out of the fight. While the team's trying to find some sort of opening pick, we'll be seeing as Mimu try to keep up the tank for the side of the Hawks here. He has a really big job responsibility on his shoulders to have to work here. No one's fallen from either side quite yet, but Wisner definitely feeling a bit hurt there with the assistance of the amplification matrix. They're able to get the elimination they are looking for. That first one going to be against Mimu, following up against Bobian, with Runic themselves able to get Chrome. So with that, the Hawks are going to have to try to reset here and just play it a bit back. Strategy-wise, I would say they need to try to take a different angle and start to really separate Stevenson when they make their push. So as we're going to be seeing here, Stevenson's playing it towards the rear side, towards White Room, rather than playing it up towards the corner, but understandably so. They have Rinzer there up front, and with that, you're going to be looking at... Had a bit of a bad angle there, but we did unfortunately see that Mimu had fallen into the abyss. They took an unlikely jump that caused their demise, and Stevenson was quick to rotate on the opportunity there. So right now it's going to be looking a bit difficult for the Hawks to make their push in here, but they're going to have to try to work something. They have the Kitsune Rush as well as Tactical Visor from Chrome with 20 seconds left. We're going to be having to see this visor come out into play, but with the combos, it's going to be a bit of a doozy, mind you. Two fall from the side of the Hawks, and the Hawks have just a mere 10 seconds left to try to recover a push. But it might not happen here, as with 5 seconds tick away, no one's going to be near the point, and the first round goes to the Mustangs. Excuse me. Got my water over here. Much better. Well, with that, we're going to be heading our way now over to the control center here. Bit of advanced technology in the realm of space. Almost found that this map itself is, when you think about it, a museum of sorts, showing their space travels having gone forward. But we will be seeing here, we have a bit of a matchup here and some counters from the side of the Hawks, as we're going to be seeing the Bastion, May, and Arisa pick. The Mustangs are going to be sticking to their own strategy as well as they meet up into the center. Stevenson here taking the initiative of space against them, while Connor's going to have to try to get some, well, as mentioned earlier, space made. They need to get a bit of an initial step against the Hawks, but they find themselves separated out thanks to the May wall there. Stevenson is not going to be letting up anytime soon as they start to take capture of the point. For the Hawks, they need to try to regroup and play together here. They're playing in a very dangerous spot, but they are able to capitalize on the chaos in order to take out the Bastion, aka Wisner. They're still a bit hurt and under the weather, but they are surviving. Mustangs here are going to try to do their best to keep people up while falling back slowly in order to recover. They're playing a very dangerous game with Destiny, as we're going to be seeing the Flux come on out, does not get anyone, and Stevenson loses the point. Amplification Matrix has been activated by the side of the Hawks, so they're going to try to get some kills there. They're able to find it on Rinzer, and they're going to continue pushing the Mustangs back. With both DPS down, that's going to have to be reset here from the Mustangs. We'll be seeing here that having matched the progression amount and going past it, the Hawks have a great advantage to start, and not to mention ultimates to work with here. Maybe seeing a match from Wisner as well to Chrome, but the window is going to be coming on out. It's going to be matched by one another there with that first kill against Epic. Not really what you're looking for there, to say the least. Artillery barrage comes in as well from the Mustangs, able to find both supports. Stevenson's able to cover for their own Baptiste, with Wisner getting that quad kill, forcing the Orisa to try to take a back step here. Gonna have to regroup and think for their next play here. They don't have really anything to combo well with Connor's ult. However, if they can get enough of the Mustangs down low enough and bait out the immortality here, Chrome is going to have a real good time with this grenade coming into this pool from the Orisa. Able to double down on the damage. So I have to see what the strategy is going in here as Orisa starts to make their push up forward, but is in a world of hurt themselves. Rinzer has unfortunately fallen, seeing that they were not in a good position whatsoever, having to back it on off. A lot of chaos going on out here. Pole coming in, they do beat to match it, which allows the Mustangs to survive the fight, but just long enough to stall at the point where they could. Seems it's going to be backing up for this fight now, as we're going to be seeing here a chance for a recontest later on. They only have Mimu's ult, the Amplification Matrix, on the side of the Hawks, so they're going to have to be wise with their usage, while 49 has an ult ready to go, and two more coming on deck from the Mustangs here. An initial start of a pick for Stevenson here. Going to be seeing lots of absorption here, and they're able to get such a beautiful elimination there. Remember earlier what I said about that pool and nade? Well, Wisner takes full advantage of that before falling themselves, using the window in order to amplify the damage that the grenade let off. So now with about 15 seconds left, all Stevenson needs to do is stall out the Hawks here, especially with this wall, for the timing of it. Have to be real careful playing around this here. They do get the Javelin baited out, as well as the gold, comboing it with the Bastion ult here. They are looking for a rampage, hungry for more. Wisner has been getting all the kills so far for the side of the Mustangs, and ladies and gents, that's going to complete map number 1. I must say, I want to believe that was potentially a record time map there, going both sides, but that was a quick one. Play the game here coming out from Wisner, the Bastion on the side of the Mustangs. Some pristine aim there, and a beautiful nade, able to find 3 on the collateral. With that, we're going to just await for these players' decisions on what the next map shall be. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Dislight Excerpts Radio.
Dislight Excerpts Radio.
Dislight Excerpts Radio.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we are heading right on back into it. Welcome to King's Row. This is going to be our second map of the tonight in, I believe, a best of 5, if I'm correct. I believe that's best of 5. It's just been a little bit since I last did it, even though it was just last week. They had a little bit of a new UI, so I'm trying to make sure that I'm staying up to date with everything. Nonetheless, here at King's Row, I'm expecting a brawl, and I'm happy to see it. Really looking forward to the Reinhardt plays here tonight, because for those of you that don't know, brawl is the pretty standard play here on the King's Row, and you'll often see characters such as Reinhardt, Orisa, or even Ramatra played here. They are often very favored. So, with that being said, both sides going to be rating up with their strategies in hand. We do see that swap onto the Reaper here. An interesting decision, I must say. He's enjoying his cookie. Put the cookie down. It's time to go into action. Oh, and I've been baited. 40, how could you? Why? But a good call out there, as they do have a Bastion, so 49 will have to be ready to face him off. Same going to be said here from the Orisa, as well as Chrome and Epic here, who could have a great advantage with their composition. They're really going to have to be about picture perfect picks here, having to find whoever is out of position, like Connor there. Stevenson's going to try to capitalize that. Connor has a lot of survivability thanks to playing as Orisa, but it's not looking to be enough here, as we're going to be seeing the double come on out, make that a triple, and looking for the quad kill here. Poor Lifeweaver. Last one alive is going to actually be Mimu here, who's able to retreat just enough. Stevenson now taking a record time capture with 5 minutes 30 seconds on the clock. Are going to begin their push on the second point. Let's take a look at Epic Nova Bomb, who was taking a high ground angle against the Mustangs here. I would have suggested that they try to take it up right above where the card is to have a better time, but that does take a while for the rotation, and you have to make sure you don't get caught out by doing such a thing. So it's all about calculated risk here. We'll be seeing Orisa, Connor make their way on forward. They either have to push through it or fall back against it. Unfortunately for the Hawks, it's window to window match was not the play there, as they're going to get mowed down themselves. They had ran out of cooldowns by the time the ults had been activated. And we won't be seeing probably too much here from Lifeweaver, but they're holding out for their survivability here. They have the Tree of Life available, so they could potentially stall just right there on the corner, but they really need their team to get back in time in order to really make the play. If Stevenson really wanted to, they could just push on this. That being said, we're going to be seeing the artillery barrage here try to take out the Tree of Life, and it does just that. Having landed on down, we're seeing a bit of chaos here on the point. We're taking a look at the soldier here playing off of the high ground. That beat able to find its mark as they're going to be making their push. The soldier having to push on back. Risa trying to get this elimination there. Not able to find the kill they're looking for, and it's going to be a matched up artillery barrage, but that does get canceled by the Sigma, who had pushed up against the Hawks. With that 5 minutes, 20 seconds, an unbelievable time bank, mind you, for this map. You really don't see this often in competitive play, so it's a real gem to see it here. Though very unfortunate for the defenders to have to work against. So as the defenders, you're going to have to really try to play some different angles and maybe switch up your comp to try to get some kills. It's hard to say, as hindsight is always 20/20, especially when you have the overall view. So just seem to be having a hard time there. Let's switch off. So now we're going to be making our eyes on to Runic here. Has a big opportunity to go for an environmental here, but it's going to be playing it smart, as the Lucio of the team has to be able to keep the team moving as well as grooving while they're trying to keep up the heals and momentum. Visor has been activated, but they unfortunately get shut down, and ladies and gents, that's going to be a team kill with 40 minutes and just after 30 seconds on the clock.
Score 0-3. Switching sides.
So let me start with what we saw there. I'm going to be honest, that was rough. That was a hard pill to swallow for a Hawks fan here, part of Hagerstown. But there's still hope to be had. Although it's a large time bank, as long as you get yourself over 2 minutes, you should be able to shave down what Stevenson has. Much less even just get capture of the full 100% even in the overtime, to try to make sure they can't even have a point, taking it to a draw. But at the C, we will be seeing a swap from Epic over to the Ash. I'm not sure if this is going to be a permanent thing, but I'm welcoming the change. We'll see Connor over to the Sig themselves. Not a bad idea, trying to fight fire with fire here. I like the idea. I would say their biggest concern definitely is going to have to be Stevenson's DPS, as they're going to be really just trying to outmaneuver and outplay the Hawks. When you get certain players going, they are on a roll. Now I am curious to see what are we seeing here from the Mustangs. They seem to be trying to huddle around in the building there. We might be seeing a wall play come on out. Let's just see how things take shape. Epic Nova here, going to be starting off with the most ults in the game. Alt percentage, that is. Trying to find some lick of damage here. 49's the one to receive it, that's for sure. Nades find no one from either side, as we're going to be seeing the Hawks make their rotation here. A real good strategy for them would be to either take advantage of this high ground or get into that right side room. Either one will help them with this push here. Unfortunately for them, however, Boboian has fallen. We do see Ash is able to take the high ground, so they need to be able to find some sort of additional picks. Dynamite's going to be going off, which deals a good amount of damage. We're going to be seeing the Hawks start to funnel themselves up the stairwell to recover. Not a bad plan, especially since they still have Baptiste to work with. So if they just play with this high ground and assist Ash on making the picks, they could have an opportunity to push. But Rinzer doesn't want to seem to give them any space. Turning the corner, finding that first headshot, but does manage to escape there. We're going to be seeing Chrome try to go for some additional damage, but not to find it. Let's tune in here over the 49, who's going to be facing the 1v1 against Connor. Connor now in a bit of trouble themselves, but able to recover. Stevenson is at quite a bit of disadvantage here, having been surrounded on several sides, no less, and being forced off the point. So this is ample time for Hagerstown to actually move on the point and start to take some capture while the Mustangs have backed off. They start to do just that, but little do they know that they're about to face a Matrix here to the face. Wisner as well as Rinzer. is looking for the amplified damage, able to find that headshot, beautifully done so, and they push through the Tree of Life and the Hawks' own Matrix themselves. Things are not looking too good here. We're going to have to see a reset here, but it is worthy to note that the Hawks have been able to acquire a tick on the point, so that gives them some hope for making this next push. They also have a lot of ults to work with. 2 DPS and 1 counter ult here. The Flux will be able to serve as a game changer here, but it's going to be whoever gets more value out of their 3 ults here, as both sides have used up their support ults. We see Wisner set up on the high ground. Could go early here, but it's going to probably be waiting for 49 to initiate with the Flux. Ash more than likely has to make their push with Bob on the point. Artillery barrage coming on out here. The Rock coming on through, and 49 not doing too hot themselves. Bob and everyone else is going on in. They're landing it right on the bash and able to get that damage dealt. It's a bit of a trade back and forth here, so whoever takes the initiative will have the advantage. Stevenson, I believe, is down by 1. Renzer, unfortunately, was not able to throw out that blizzard in time in order to hold the point, so this one is going to the Hawks.
Objective lost.
With 3 minutes to work with, they're going to have to try to really utilize these close quarters and narrow alleyways in order to funnel Stevenson into a damage pit. We'll be seeing the Ash here looking for some shots, but not going to be finding any quite yet. They have to really work their up for Bob again and try to find the value there. Stevenson could have a huge opportunity here just to push with Blizzard right onto the point, as it's moving very slowly. Blizzard, just as I was mentioning, does get activated here, and it's going to be a complete wipe. No survivors. Mimu really trying to get out, just barely able to thanks to the self-burst healing. But they better take cover in order to try to regroup with the team. And with that, that's going to be about 2 minutes left for the attackers here, the Hawks, to make their push. They're all going for the high ground here, maybe trying to utilize Connor's ult against the Mustangs here if they can. They have a big pocket of them right in the back corner. Let's see what they're going to start to work with there. That Rock's not going to be finding anyone quite yet. And unfortunately, Connor is in a position they do not want to be in. The only way to escape right now would definitely be to get this Flux off. And there is a big number of those Mustangs there. Look at them herd on up. Beat going to come on out in reaction to it. Getting rid of most of it. It's going to be that Flux. Now trying to go for the absorption and the window. Huge amount of damage. That's going to be the first one down for the Mustangs there. Rinzer is the one to be found. And now the Mustangs are being forced back. However, they're trying to still utilize taking space while regrouping in order not to fall themselves and build up their ult charge. As we see, Cynic is halfway up to his own BAP ult. So now we're going to have to see if the Hawks can persevere through the thick and thin to get on through. Artillery barrage coming on out there. Not able to find any eliminations, unfortunately, for them. Stevenson's going to return the favor, shooting 1, 2, 3. No such hits either. The Tree of Life takes effect, but watch out for the window. Bob's going to have to really find some value here. It does. It's in a great position, and it's taking them out one by one. Pennies apiece, mind you, as we're going to be seeing a clean wipe against the Mustangs. With that, we're probably going to be seeing just roughly 2 minutes for the Hawks to work with on this third point. They need to get a time bank in general in order to not have to settle for only a draw, potentially. So now the Mustangs, knowing what is behind their back, what they have to stop from happening here, are going to try to have to make a push up through here. Unfortunately for the Mustangs, they have no one to contest the Ash on the high ground. Despite dealing a great amount of damage, Lucio can make his way on up, but Lucio's job is to sit back and heal that team for now and keep their momentum going. The Hawks are going to try to be taking as much advantage of this space as possible while looking to hunt down this Bastion here. Unfortunately, the boop's going to offset them. Looking to absorb more damage. They're in a bit of a sticky predicament, if you will. So now, having forced back themselves, we're going to be seeing probably an alt game coming out here, and it's going to have to be an early one. Having the cart on the corner here, they have to stop the Mustangs from activating their own. So we're going to be seeing the initiation coming on out here with a great combo play there from Connor and Chrome, as well as Epic finding the cleanup. But what's this? A lone Bastion here in the backline trying to save the day. Did a great deal of damage to Baboian. And now we're seeing 49 just stall this point as well. They do have ult in hand and are very healthy, mind you. And they seem to have accidentally made a mistake. They misstepped, mind you. So the Mustangs are going to have to make their push out here, going for a daring beat drop. They make it in time. Bob is now out of there, and it's now going to be an ult for the century. Bastion all coming into effect here. Probably going to be targeting Cynic. It does so, as well as Runic, but does not find any eliminations there, as Rinzer is going to be looking for their own type of elims with the railgun. Flux is on now, getting the immune hits, but Wisner still capitalizes off of the chaos here. There's 6 seconds left. No one's available from the Hawks to make that touch. And ladies and gents, that's going to be the second map. Mustangs take it away 2-0. We still have one more map here tonight, folks. Although it's going very quickly, let me remind you, we still have another match at 10 p.m. tonight. It's going to be club. But first and foremost, it's going to be play the game from Wisner. Getting that initial damage out there with the assistance of the window really set up the Mustangs for where they are looking to go. We'll be taking a short break as teams decide what map they're going to next. It will be Flashpoint. Alright, ladies and gents, we are actually right back into it. That wasn't very long. Welcome to the Flashpoint. We're going over to Saravasa. Not much time to explain, but buckle up, Buttercup, because we're going to get right on into it. As we're going to be seeing here, it's going to be the Hawks changing up strategy once again. How they're going to be using the Echo, Ana, and Zarya for their change-ups here. A good idea, especially little did they not know they're going to have to deal with quits here on the Genji. So time to see what either side is made of here. Making their way on through, we're going to be seeing that either side's really just looking for an initial pick. However, the advantage more than likely is going to be going over to Stevenson here. That is, unless Runic gets picked off themselves. Bastion now in a bit of hurt. Going to be able to stay alive thanks to that immortality field, but you got to give credit where credit's due. Chrome really trying to find some spam going down, and they're targeting the biggest bodies possible, like that Bastion here. Let's tune in over to Epic Nova, who's a little health and a dream. Teams are trying to aim for them, but you're a little too fly in order to stay alive, as it's going to be the Hawks taking the fall. With that, that's going to be having the reset. Stevenson having already capped their 40% in counting. Well, we're going to have to see some sort of strategy change here once again from the Hawks. We will be seeing Epic Nova over on the Sombra. We'll have to see if that works out for them. There was the recent change to Sombra, which personally I don't find too great for the invisibility, but the rest of their kit is quite good, especially good for frontlining here. It's just this escape path situation not working to themselves. We'll be seeing that initial virus go off the start as they're trying to make their way in for an initial kill, but they're finding themselves in a really bad spot to start, as we're going to be seeing the Flux come on out as well. It's going to be a clean wipe with the first point going to the Mustangs. With the market captured, we're going to be heading our way over to the ruins now, making their way on over. Well, it's going to have to be the Hawks trying to recover themselves. They seem a little lost, having to go the opposite way. They went out the wrong spawn doors without knowing it. It happens to the best of us. I've done it a number of times myself. Great hack to start out, but it's not going to be finding anyone quite yet in terms of value. I believe the Sombra here is just going to be sitting around just to annoy. As for the Hawks themselves, they're going to have to start making their push and then probably taking this right side room, as we're seeing Wisner sitting. But they do get hacked themselves. They're having to deal with the Sombra, but the virus misses, which is not going to be able to do that additional damage over time. Bastion falls for the side of the Hawks as well as their tank. Both the healers are left. They're able to pull them out, but I think you're just delaying the inevitable, unfortunately. You need to die quickly and try to regroup here. Alt's economy is going to be key, as we're going to be seeing here from the artillery barrage, the Dragon Blade, the beat drop, and more than likely going to be seeing the amplification matrix coming up next. Very soon, in fact. So with that being said, we will be looking at Sombra having the EMP ready. They're going to have to combo this really well with the Orisa's initiation here, making their push on in. EMP goes on out, and they are going for it. The pull has gone through. Unfortunately, they did things a little bit backwards in this sense, as we're going to be seeing Dragon Blade come on out. They're looking to find the first. They are able to get it, and they're trying to find some more. Unfortunately, the Genji does get shut down, but a damage is as damage does. They find their pick, and they're going for the cleanup. Second point to the Mustangs. Having taken care of the ruins, we're going to be making our way over to the temple now, which is, believe it or not, right next door. As trying to find some initial damage to start, but not going to, unfortunately. Believe it or not, temple here itself is a very good map for environmental kills. You may see from time to time Roadhogs sit around the bay, or the pond I should say, looking for initial picks with that hook and pull, where no one from the opponent's side can escape. And unfortunately for Connor, he seems to be the person of misfortune here, having been booped and just momentum against them into the pond. How unfortunate there. Baptiste trying to get out alive, does so successfully. They're able to get the regroup 18 to 20% in counting. Stealing my flow. 49 seems to be a little bit upset. I bet you they were looking for that elimination there, but it gave it to a suicide in the end. Well, as we're about to see more than likely a window battle here from Mimu, as well as the Cynic Hipster, excuse me. It's taking a moment just to memorize everyone's names. That being said, window has been activated here. They really need to try to deny any value. The artillery barrage also to be met, but they're not able to find any picks of such value there. It's going to be the Mustangs making their way on in. The Flux coming on out. 20% left for the board to capture. Make that 10 seconds. Wrecking Ball on their way. They have the grapple going on through. They have to maneuver. But unfortunately for them, that's going to finish it up tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, the Mustangs take it 3-0. At this point, I mean, it's like Employee of the Month every single month. Wisner with the play of the game. Let me remind you, people in chat, do lurk around for the next 2 hours as we're going to have our next match at 10 p.m. But until then, the stream will turn off, and I'll see you all then. Bye-bye!